it's cut off there a little at the top. Should play simplifying expressions, worksheet bundle number 3. Focusing on number 1, we'll do so in essence, you won't really have any notes today. You'll just have the examples you do with me. Okay? I'm not going to write anything down on a separate sheet of paper. In these, we're giving you an expression with variables. Now, do we need to explain what variables are again? Are we okay there? Do we understand that variables are to represent any number, a number we don't know? Okay? It's funny how sometimes the things are seen a little harder. We feel like we can take a little for granted, but things like order for operations we're taking notes on, but it's just sometimes those things that we started a long time ago tend to have more problems with than the things we just did last year. Okay? So what we're going to do here is we'll use order of operations, but we're just adding another step. In this case, we have this expression right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to substitute in the number given to us. When they say x is equal to 1, they're saying that x and 1 are the same thing. Isn't that what equal means? All right?
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be a time this year where you think Coach Stump equals jerk. So I gave you a bunch of homework, right? So you think Coach Stump and jerk are the same thing. Hopefully not. All kidding aside, though, that's the point I'm making, is that when you have an equal sign in between, you're saying this and this are the same thing. Wherever you see that, you can put the other. So wherever I see x, what else could I put?
1.
I could put a 1. And wherever I see, since y is equal to 2, wherever I see y, I can put a what?
2.
So I've got 2 divided by 2 plus 1. Sometimes you need to use parentheses, sometimes you don't. If you're unsure, it's okay to just put, each time you substitute, to put them inside parentheses. Okay? There's nothing in front of each of these parentheses except for a plus and a what? And nothing. So basically I can pretend like they're not here. Or they're not there, here. Now, which do I do first? 2 divided by 2 or 2 plus 1?
Divided by 2.
What is 2 divided by 2?
1.
Plus 1, the answer is? 2. That's pretty easy. Agreed? Let's do number 12. All right, fun. What am I going to put in for y? See, I'm going to put it in right there, right? What am I going to put in for z? I have 2 places to put it, though, don't I? So my expression, when I substitute it in, I'll go ahead and use parentheses, is 2 minus parentheses. What do I put in for z? Or I put the wrong thing in. What should I put in for y?
10.
You guys catch my mistake?
Yes.
That's the second one.
It's actually the third hit.
Sometimes I do it on purpose, if you guys are paying attention. Here for the z, I put a 2 plus. For the other z, I also put a 2. What do I need to put up here, though, and not forget?
Your exponent.
Squared. Then I close my parentheses. Work inside out. I don't necessarily need those parentheses there. I don't need it there. I do kind of need it there until I evaluate that. What does that become?
4.
What do I evaluate first here?
In parentheses.
2 plus 4, I get 6. So I have 10 minus 6. The answer is?
4.
Box in your answer. Not so bad, is it? Not even making you substitute in any negative numbers here or anything. What happens when they get really really complicated, like on page 2, number 26. Like anything else, once you put the numbers in, if you use your order of operations, you'll be fine. Now, what I want to focus in on here is the BC. What does it mean from algebra? Do we remember when I have a letter beside another letter? What does it say I'm
Means I
doing?
multiply.
I am multiplying. So, C times, what number can I put in for C?
5.
There it is right there. I can put a 5 in. So 5, I'm going to put a dot, times, I'm going to go ahead and put this whole thing in parentheses, just makes me feel better. What's on top? B and C, so that means B what? Times C, so 8 times what? Over, what's on bottom? That doesn't change. Minus, parentheses. 7 minus whatever A is. What is A?
4.
A is 4. So work inside out. These parentheses are separate from each other, so I can work both of them. What does 7 minus 4 become? A positive 3. Well, here I've got 5 times. What does 8 times 5 become?
40.
So I've got 40 over 4. What would you evaluate next? Left or
That's
right?
10.
I would go 40 over 4, wouldn't I? 5 times, what's 40 divided by 4?
10.
Minus 3. Now we're straight order of operations from left to right. What do I do first?
50.
5 times 10, which gives me 50,
Yeah.
minus 3.
47.
There's your answer. What's a negative divided by a negative? What's a positive divided by a positive?
Positive.
What's a negative divided by a negative?
Positive.
What's a positive divided by a negative?
Negative.
Negative divided by positive.
Negative.
So basically, if the signs are what?
Switched.
The same, you always get a positive when multiplying or dividing. So let's put that off to the side here on our paper. Signs are the same. Answer is what?
Positive.
Positive. Signs are different. Answer is what?
Negative.
Negative. And of course I'm talking about two things, because even when you multiply 5 times 4 times 8 times 20, you still in essence, to figure out that problem, you go 5 times 4, and whatever you get as an answer, you go times the other. You always multiply two things at a time, don't you? You just might multiply again right after. What's your answer going to be here?
2.
But what, what's the sign of your answer?
Positive.
What's the sign of your answer going to be here?
Negative.
What's the sign of your answer here going to
Positive.
be? Sign here.
Negative. Positive.
Signs are the same, right? See what I'm getting at? Can you guys put those into your calculator? I want a reduced fraction.
8 on our section.
Or
solve it.
improper fraction. So don't give me, if they don't come out even, because this may not come out even, let me think. It does come out even. This one may not.
They all do.
They all do?
Yeah, they all do. Except for like 9. I think.
Yeah. Said negative 17 times 6 is 42, isn't it?
Yeah. 9 comes out even.
I mean 6, 6.
6.
So they all come out even? Okay.
Yeah, they all do.
As you can see, that's pretty easy. I told you I'd give you something easier for this bundle, didn't I? Other side is multiplication. Same type of deal, right? When you get to ones like these, look at number 34. Negative 3 times 6 is a what? Huh? Times negative 6. So,
Positive.
what's a negative 18 times a negative 6? Positive 108? Is that right? So now we're dealing with signs, right? Uh-oh. Let's go to the next one. I hate rules for this, because I'm going to tell you another way I think of it. But basically, if signs are the same, add the numbers and keep the sign. And you're adding and subtracting. Signs are different. Subtract the numbers and keep the sign of the what? Larger what? Number. Another thing I'm going to write, positives cancel out negatives. And vice versa. If you'll think of it like that, you'll be fine.
What is it? Minus, plus. So like. If you
Well,
go-
here's the deal. It's because, I don't know, with me, multiplication's good to know the rule. With addition, the better thing to think of is to think of the positive negatives almost like a unit. And with in mind that positives cancel out negatives and vice versa. So when I look at this right here, I've got 2 negatives and 3 positives, right? So I've got 2 negatives and 3 positives, right? This negative cancels out what? One of those, right? This negative cancels out what? One of the positives. So what am I left with? How many positives? Huh?
1.
That's the answer. Here, I have 14 negatives added to 7 negatives. Do I have any positives to cancel out any negatives? So I have a total of 21 what?
Negatives.
Negatives. That's the difference between addition and subtraction, and compared to multiplication. Everybody pay attention here, please. Now, at this one, here's when you need to, here there was a positive in front. So I didn't need to worry about getting anything out of the, it didn't, a positive times a negative is a negative, so it didn't change the sign. However, here, if you have minus and negative, what does that always become?
Addition.
3 plus what?
8.
So I need to see that. That's showing me your work. I have 3 positives here, 8 positives over here. I'm combining them, so I have a total of what? 11 positives. Look down here to number 5. I have a negative 8, and this becomes a plus what? 2. Would everyone agree? So I've got 8 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I've got 2 positives. What's going to happen here? This positive cancels out what? That negative. This positive cancels out what? That negative, leaving me how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 what? Negatives. See what I'm saying? And as always, show all the steps and work. Let's get to work on that. I may do a combining like terms, very short worksheet tomorrow, and then we'll turn them all in on Friday. We'll just see how we're doing. If you're working all hour, you ought to be okay.